Hey guys, look what I got. That's right guys, this is the Eachine Assassin 180 FPV Quadcopter, and it's got all sorts of goodies, goggles, GPS, built-in OSD, Nest 32, it's ready to fly, all sorts of awesome features. So I'm going to quit talking about it and let's open up this awesome case and see what's going on inside. Alright guys, here is a look inside the case. As you can see, or maybe not see, we've got a bunch of props up there. We have a smart battery for this thing. New technology is always cool. We have the charger for the smart battery. And we've got two of these for the goggles. We've got some nice NiCad rechargeables here, I believe for the radio. Of course, we've got the goggles right here, HD goggles, mind you. We've got the radio, and underneath that we've got the quadcopter, and we're going to take a look at the quadcopter next. But before we do that, I want to show you just how cool this case really is. It's got a really nice handle. This is just like a suitcase. It feels just like a suitcase. It's got a nice quality zipper on it all the way around. It just feels really, really nice. It's a legit case. It's not just foam and cardboard. It is top quality, guys. Okay. I'm going to show you the quadcopter up next. Alright, so as to what I alluded to before, you find the quadcopter underneath the radio, and there it is. Alright guys, this is the quadcopter. I'm going to give you a little 360-degree tour, and then we're going to talk about the various parts and pieces. At least give you kind of a highlight overview. There is a ton to talk about on this, and I'm going to try and keep this video short and concise. Alright. So the first thing I want to talk about is, for me, this is one of the most important things about this. We've got a sport cam mount for like a Mobius or a run cam, and as you can see, we've got some vibration dampening there, so we will have a nice little ride here, nice view. Hopefully some good footage taken from it. We've also got GPS on this thing, which is really cool. And we've got brushless motors. We've got some really intense lights. Of course, we've got the FPV camera there. One of the other cool features on this, and like I said, I'm not going to be able to touch on everything in this little quick overview right here because this has so many cool features. This thing has the quick release smart battery, so you just pop that down, slide in your smart battery, shut that, and you're back flying again. So that is pretty dang cool. We've got the landing gear here, and this is where your FPV stuff screws in. FPV antenna. And that's it for the quick overview. Obviously we've got to install the props on there to make it fly, which we've got them back there. But now I am going to talk about the FPV goggles. Alright, so here is a quick overview of the Eachine VR-007 FPV Goggles. As you can see, here's a quick 360-degree look. Got a nice head strap here. Makes for nice long wearing. I just tried it on, and here's some buttons there. Here's a button there. I'm not sure exactly what they do yet, but I'll find out soon. I tried these on. This head strap and the way this fits is really nice. This foam is super soft and super comfortable. Got 2 layers of foam there. Should lend itself well to nice long wearing. Want to talk about the batteries that go along with this. These are really cool. So you push down on that button, and as you can see, they light up. In fact, I'm going to shut off the lights here real quick so you can see it a little bit better, because I think this is a really cool feature. So you see that light up? That tells you how much juice is left in this battery, which I think is really dang cool. The other thing is, I wanted to show you, this is the antenna that goes on the goggles, and this is the USB charger for the battery, and it just plugs in right there and then plugs in your USB and you are all set to go. One other really cool thing is, it's a nice gesture, more than really cool actually, is a little wipe for the inside of your goggles. Alright guys, I could not at least test these out. So the head strap over here on the right side is where you put the battery. There's a little slot in there and you plug it in right there, and this is what you get when nothing's connected. But as you can see, it's a nice bright display. At least I hope the camera's showing that. In person, this is a nice, very bright display. And once we get it all connected to the quadcopter and the radio, we'll have a nice big OSD and giving us lots of cool information. Alright, here's a look at the radio. We've got a bunch of switches and dials and all sorts of things to take a look at. I think these are the different flight modes, but of course I'm going to find that out here moving forward. We've got pretty nice sticks here for this greater radio. Metal, we got metal tips. You can definitely feel them. They're kind of pointy. And looks like we've got some metal trim buttons as well, which is always a good thing, good sign of quality. And here's the display screen, and here's the power on button. And that is pretty much the overview, except one other thing. We've got a trainer port back there, which could come in quite handy for some folks. And now we are going to take a look and see if we can't bind this radio up to the quadcopter. Make some stuff flash and maybe even make some motors spin. Alright guys, as you can see, we have everything bound up. This comes ready to fly, so everything is bound up and ready to rock and roll. We've got a battery gauge for both the receiver and the transmitter, which is really nice. And as you can see, we've got those flashing lights there. And let's see if I can get this all in the same frame. So when I give it some throttle, the lights come on. Now you have to arm the motors to make this work, and I'll get to that here in a second. In fact, I will do that right now. And first I'll tell you how to disarm, then I'll tell you how to arm, because the disarm is the most important thing, especially when you've got the props on there. So you pull it down and hold it to the left. That will disarm the motors. And to arm them, you go down to the right, actually. Yep, you go down to the right, and that arms it, so it's ready to go. And those front lights, which are extremely bright, those turn on when you give it some throttle. One other really cool feature is when you give it left and right stick and forward and backward stick, it will do different things. Okay, let's get this armed and ready to go again. So as you saw there, so I'm giving it some right stick and it's showing some blue. I'm giving it backwards, it shows green. Giving it forward, it's all red. I'm giving it some left and it's giving me some blue. So essentially what we have going on here, it shows you what you're doing. That way you've got some nice real-time feedback when you're flying this thing line of sight, which I think is pretty cool. It also helps your spotter when you're out a little ways flying FPV, which is what most people will do with this, hence the goggles and everything else. Alright guys, we've got a look at the picture coming from the quadcopter right here in front of me, and we've got the OSD information up there too, and I'm not sure that you're getting the same look that I am, because this is obviously going through a camera first, but the screen in person, looking at the goggles, it looks exceptional. It really does. I'm very impressed. Alright guys, I was far too tempted not to actually try and fly this thing, and I'm going to do a quick hover test before I let you go. Arm the motors. For a quad this size, in this smaller room, this is remarkably stable. Look at that. That's damn near hands off. That thing is incredibly stable. It felt really nice. I am very impressed with how this thing flies based on that short test. Alright guys, I hope you liked that quick little flight I was able to do for you. This is going to be my closing notes, closing remarks on this, and overall I really like it. It's nice, it's ready to fly, everything fits together well. Literally, we've got a lot of things integrated into this thing, which could be a pro or con depending on how you look at things. I'm going to talk about a couple quick little cons, and one being I needed to do a little mod here. This little piece kept coming loose, so I just threw a little piece of foam there and threw another piece of double-sided tape to make sure that it stuck to that little anti-vibration mount material up in there, which isn't really sticky, so that helped because I didn't want that coming out in flight and then causing issues for me. And the other thing is the battery, and not everyone's going to be excited about the proprietary battery, and actually using it, to me it's a pro. As long as I have some on hand, that's definitely a pro, but for some people that could certainly be a con. And everything worked really well. This is my first FPV quad I've ever had, and everything from the goggle setup to the radio setup, it's all pretty much ready to go out of the box. So literally, this is a ready to fly setup, and I'm really excited that I was able to show it to you guys. And that's it. Like, comment, and subscribe, and GB Linden out.